Imagine this. A cockroach shows up, you scream, grab a shoe, and it still escapes like a ninja. But wait, here's something you might not know. Even if you manage to hit it, it could still survive for days. Yes, days. A cockroach can live without its head. It's almost like us trying to survive without Wi-Fi. Possible, but a serious challenge. Let's be honest here. Who hasn't had that moment of pure panic? You're just chilling, and suddenly, a cockroach starts flying. Yes, flying. Next thing you know, you're sitting on the couch, taking deep breaths, and wondering if you're still in control of your own house. They sure know how to make us uncomfortable, don't they? But don't worry, because today, we're solving this mystery once and for all. Why are these little creatures so hard to kill? What's the secret behind their almost superhero-like resistance? Let's dive into the fascinating, and a little creepy, world of cockroaches. I promise to share scientific facts in a way that's simple and even a little funny. And of course, by the end, I'll give you some practical tips on how to deal with them without losing your cool or your house. Ready? Let's go. Cockroaches. These tiny creatures are so much more than just kitchen intruders. Did you know there are over 4,600 known species of cockroaches in the world? The good news is that only about 30 of them actually interact with us, which is still more than enough to cause trouble, right? Now get this. Cockroaches have been around for over 300 million years. Yes, while dinosaurs roamed the earth and faced extinction, cockroaches were just chilling, evolving, and adapting. They're basically the ultimate survival bosses. Storms, ice ages, climate changes, nothing seems to stop these little survivors. And that's not all. Their diversity is mind-blowing, or enough to make you run away. From the well-known American cockroach, which you've probably seen scurrying around your kitchen, to exotic species like the Madagascar hissing cockroach that grows up to 4 inches long and actually hisses when threatened. And how about the glow spot cockroach? It literally glows in the dark, kind of like a firefly, but with zero cuteness. They're not just surviving, they're thriving. Their adaptability, resilience, and incredible ability to fit into any environment make them one of the most successful groups of insects in history. But before you start thinking the cockroach world is all glamorous, remember, they've also mastered the art of making our lives a lot harder. Want to know how? Stick with me, because up next, I'll show you what makes them practically indestructible. Get ready, because I'm about to tell you why these lovely creatures are so hard to get rid of. It's not just luck or chance. It's almost like they've been gifted with an evolutionary toolkit of superpowers that make them some of the toughest creatures on the planet. First off, their sense of smell is incredible. With 154 smell receptors, they can detect a crumb of food before you even realize you dropped it. It's like they have an internal radar always on, making sure they don't miss a single opportunity. And when it comes to food, cockroaches are the definition of not picky. They'll eat cardboard, soap, food scraps, and even other cockroaches. Yep, you heard that right. For them, it's all about energy, not flavor. It's like they're in a 24/7 survival reality show, constantly competing to stay alive. Now, let's talk about their most famous trick, physical resilience. Yes, they can survive for days without a head. This is because they breathe through tiny holes in their bodies called spiracles, so they don't need a head to stay alive, at least not for about a week. Can you imagine if humans were like that? Total chaos. And then there's their evolution against pesticides. The more poison you throw at them, the stronger they get. It's like they're training at a chemical resistance gym. Over generations, they adapt and outsmart us. Amazing, right? Cockroaches are like the supervillains of the insect world. And if you think you've learned everything about them, wait until we talk about how they interact with our environment and why they seem to love invading our homes so much. Let's dive in. Okay, but how does this affect us? Well, way more than we'd like to admit. They don't just love to show up at the worst moments, like when you're relaxing on the couch or grabbing a midnight snack in the kitchen. They also know how to sneak into your home like pros. It's like they've got a secret map of your house. Why do they love your kitchen so much? Simple. To them, your trash is basically a Michelin star buffet. Every crumb on the floor, every poorly closed container, is like an all-you-can-eat feast. And no matter how well you seal your doors and windows, they always find a way in. Drains, outlets, cracks. These spots are like magic portals to them. The good news is that you can make their lives much harder. Cleaning is like kryptonite for cockroaches. The cleaner and more organized your house is, the less appealing it will be. Sealing cracks and holes is also key. Think of it like being the bouncer at an exclusive party. Only authorized guests are allowed in. And if none of that works, well, maybe they just want to sit down and watch TV with you. Jokes aside, turning your home into an unfriendly space for cockroaches is the first step to keeping them away. But what if they insist on showing up? Don't worry. In the next section, I'll share practical and ethical strategies to deal with them effectively. Stay with me. Now, here's the big question. What do you do when they show up? We've all had that moment of panic when a roach appears, unsure whether to scream, run, or grab a shoe. But don't worry. With a few simple and effective strategies, you can handle them without too much stress. The first step is prevention. It might sound basic, but it makes a huge difference. Keep your food stored in tightly sealed containers. For roaches, a loosely closed jar is like a VIP invitation to a party, and you definitely don't want to host them, right? Also, make sure to clean up food crumbs, especially in the kitchen. Every crumb you leave behind is like a flashing sign saying, "Welcome, roaches. The buffet is open." If prevention doesn't work, there are still natural methods you can try. Boric acid and baking soda are powerful allies that work just as well as chemical sprays, but without harming your health or the environment. They're simple, effective, and roaches hate them. Now, if nothing else works and the infestation gets out of hand, pesticides might be the last resort. But please, use them responsibly. Read the instructions carefully and keep the area well ventilated. After all, you want to win the battle without putting your own health at risk, right? And if you can, call a professional. They have the tools and expertise to handle the situation safely and efficiently. With these strategies, you're ready to take on any roach that crosses your path. But before we wrap up, let's go over the main points and finish strong. Let's do this. So, here's the thing. Roaches are truly amazing at what they do. But that doesn't mean they need to do it in your house. With everything we've covered today, from their fascinating story to practical tips for dealing with them, you now have the tools to face any roach with confidence. And remember, planning and cleanliness always win the war. It might seem simple, but they are your best weapons against these little invaders. The fewer reasons you give them to stick around, the easier it will be to keep the peace. Did you enjoy this video? If so, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more awesome tips and fun facts like this. Now it's your turn. Tell me in the comments about the craziest roach encounter you've ever had. Let's laugh or cry together, and maybe even share some extra tips. See you next time, and may your home stay just yours.